The power of emptiness. Unlocking happiness and fulfillment in a busy world. Introduction. In the fast-paced, ever-changing world we live in, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of more. More possessions, more experiences, more success. We believe that if we can just achieve enough, we'll finally be happy and fulfilled. But what if the key to happiness and fulfillment lies not in accumulating more, but in embracing spaciousness or emptiness? By the word spaciousness or emptiness, I refer to a sense of openness, freedom, and expansiveness. Emptiness, in this sense, does not mean a lack of anything. It is not about deprivation or asceticism. Rather, it is about letting go of our attachments to the things we think we need in order to be happy. It is about creating space in our lives for the things that truly matter. When we embrace emptiness, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We become more flexible and adaptable. We are less likely to be stressed or anxious about the future because we know that we can always find happiness within ourselves. Emptiness can also be a source of great creativity. When we are not attached to a particular outcome, we are free to explore new ideas and possibilities. We are more likely to take risks and to step outside of our comfort zones. Think of a vast, open field. The field is not empty in the sense that it is lacking anything. It is full of potential. It is a space where anything can happen. In the same way, when we embrace emptiness in our own lives, we create space for new possibilities to emerge. We become more open to new experiences and new ways of thinking. We become more creative and more adaptable. Embracing emptiness is not about giving up or settling for less. It is about creating space for the things that truly matter. It is about living a life that is rich and full, without being weighed down by unnecessary possessions or attachments. Welcome back to my Tao Te Ching Unveiled channel. Today, we will explore Chapter 4 in the Tian section of the authentic edition of Laozi's Tao Te Ching. In this lecture, we will discuss three important topics. 1. The power of emptiness. 2. Existence arises from spaciousness or emptiness, the universal truth across religions. 3. The quintessence and methods of Taoist cultivation. Let's begin with the original text in Chinese.
天篇第4章虚能生始，天地之间，其由橐越，虚而不屈，动而欲出。
Chapter 4 in Heaven section. Power of emptiness. Between heaven and earth, it is like a bellows, empty yet inexhaustible, moving and evermore comes out. Interpretation. This passage uses the metaphor of a bellows to describe the nature of the Tao. Here are the key points to understand. Power of emptiness. In a world where the tangible and concrete often reign supreme, the concept of emptiness might seem counterintuitive. Yet, the ancient wisdom of the Tao Te Ching, particularly in Chapter 4, illuminates the profound power that lies within emptiness. Through the metaphor of a bellows, this philosophical text reveals how what appears to be void can be a source of boundless potential and creativity. The metaphor of the bellows. Between heaven and earth, it is like a bellows, empty yet inexhaustible, moving and evermore comes out. Emptiness can produce reality. This passage vividly illustrates how emptiness functions within the universe. A bellows, a simple device used to stoke fires, operates through a process of expansion and contraction, drawing in air when empty and expelling it forcefully. Despite its apparent emptiness, the bellows is a powerful tool, essential for sustaining a fire. This metaphor encapsulates a key Taoist principle. Emptiness is not merely a lack but a state brimming with potential. Emptiness and inexhaustibility. At first glance, emptiness might seem synonymous with nothingness or absence. However, the Tao Te Ching suggests a deeper interpretation. Emptiness, in this context, is not a void devoid of anything valuable. Instead, it is an inexhaustible source of energy and possibility. Just as the bellows never runs out of air, the concept of emptiness in Taoism is perpetually full of potential, always capable of generating more. Movement and creation. The dynamic aspect of emptiness is another crucial element highlighted by the bellows metaphor. Movement is intrinsic to the nature of the Tao, and it is through this movement that new realities are born. The bellows, by continuously moving, brings forth air that feeds the fire. Similarly, the Tao, through its constant flux, brings forth life and creation. This idea underscores a fundamental Taoist belief. Change and motion are essential to the unfolding of the universe. Emptiness as a generative force. The phrase emptiness can produce reality, 虚能生实 in Chinese, is central to understanding the power of emptiness. In Taoist thought, what seems void and insubstantial is actually the root of all substantial forms. This paradoxical idea invites us to reconsider our perceptions of value and existence. Emptiness is not to be feared or avoided. Rather, it should be embraced as a fundamental aspect of the creative process. It is the fertile ground from which all things emerge. Practical implications. Understanding the power of emptiness has profound implications for how we approach life and problem solving. In a culture that often prioritizes fullness, accumulation, and constant activity, recognizing the value of emptiness can lead to a more balanced and harmonious way of living. It encourages us to make space for stillness, reflection, and the unknown, trusting that these states are not voids but sources of deep potential and insight. For instance, in creative endeavors, embracing emptiness can mean allowing for moments of quiet and unstructured time, trusting that these periods will give rise to new ideas and solutions. In personal growth, it can involve letting go of rigid plans and expectations, creating space for new experiences and perspectives to enter. Embracing the power of emptiness. The wisdom of the Tao Te Ching invites us to see emptiness not as a void to be filled, but as a powerful and essential aspect of the universe. The metaphor of the bellows teaches us that emptiness is dynamic, inexhaustible, and generative. By embracing the power of emptiness, we can tap into a profound source of creativity and potential, allowing for continuous growth and transformation in our lives. In conclusion, the power of emptiness is a reminder of the hidden potential within what seems void. It challenges us to look beyond the surface and recognize the generative force that lies within emptiness. This ancient wisdom offers a timeless perspective, encouraging us to find strength and possibility in the most unexpected places. Existence arises from emptiness, the universal truth across religions. What is it that all spiritual seekers pursue so ardently? In my view, the ultimate goal is to return to emptiness or nothingness. Spiritual seekers must grasp the profound truth, the transition of the manifest world from a state of non-manifestation. Whether described as emptiness, nothingness, or a transcendent source, this universal truth highlights the interconnectedness among diverse religious philosophies and their common insight into the genesis of existence. In Buddhism, it is said that emptiness gives rise to the miraculous existence, suggesting that all phenomena arise from a fundamental state of emptiness. Similarly, while in Taoism, it is expressed as from nothingness arises existence, emphasizing the spontaneous emergence of the universe from the void. Despite the diverse doctrines and teachings of the world's major religions, a profound truth is universally acknowledged. Everything we can perceive and touch originates from a state of emptiness or nothingness. In Hinduism, the notion of Brahman represents the ultimate, formless reality from which the universe manifests. The idea of Maya reflects the illusory nature of the material world, echoing the Buddhist concept of emptiness. Christianity presents the doctrine of creatio ex nihilo, meaning creation out of nothing. This central tenet asserts that God created the universe from a state of non-existence, mirroring the idea of existence emerging from nothingness. Islamic thought, particularly in Sufism, speaks of divine unity, tawhid, where all existence emanates from the One, a concept that transcends form and comprehension. This oneness is the source of all creation, akin to the Buddhist and Taoist notions. In Kabbalistic Judaism, the mystical tradition describes Ein Sof, the infinite, as the boundless source from which all existence unfolds through a series of emanations, sphirot. This reflects the emergence of the manifest world from an infinite nothingness. Neoplatonism, especially through the works of Plotinus, introduces the One, an ineffable and transcendent source from which all reality emanates. This principle aligns with the idea of emptiness, or a transcendent source giving rise to existence. These concepts across different traditions highlight a common philosophical thread: the emergence of the manifest world from a state of non-manifestation. Whether termed emptiness, nothingness, or a transcendent source, this universal truth underscores the interconnectedness of various religious philosophies and their shared understanding of the origin of existence. The quintessence and methods of Taoist cultivation. An exploration of the power of emptiness unveils the profound truths inherent in Taoist cultivation. Central to the philosophical teachings of Taoism are three core principles: returning to emptiness, Huan Shi, reviving original simplicity, Fan Pu Gui Jun, and achieving unity with the Tao, Yi Dao He Yi. These guiding principles lead practitioners on a journey of inner transformation, fostering alignment with the authentic order of the universe. Let's delve deeper into each principle. 1. Reversion to emptiness, Huan Shi. The philosophy of reversion to emptiness, or returning to emptiness, is a central concept in Taoism. It refers to the process of shedding external complexities and returning to a state of simplicity and purity. Emptiness, in Taoism, does not denote a void, but rather a state that is abundant in potential and receptivity. It is the source of all things, and the ultimate reality from which all things emerge and to which they return. To cultivate emptiness is to let go of our attachments to the external world and to our own ego. This involves relinquishing our preconceptions, desires, and attachments. It is a process of simplification and purification, in which we shed all that is inessential and return to our true nature. When we are empty, we are open to the boundless possibilities of the Tao. We become more receptive to the flow of life and more attuned to the rhythms of nature. We are less likely to be swayed by our emotions or by the opinions of others. We become more flexible and adaptable and better able to respond to the challenges of life with equanimity. Returning to emptiness is not a passive process. It requires active cultivation and self-reflection. We must constantly question our assumptions and beliefs and be willing to let go of anything that is no longer serving us. It is a journey that is never complete, but one that is always worth pursuing. Here is a classic parable of simplicity, a timeless story that beautifully illustrates the principle of simplicity and the human tendency to seek external validation and power, only to find true contentment in one's original state. The Tale of the Stonecutter. In a small village nestled at the foot of a majestic mountain, there lived a humble stonecutter. Each day, the stonecutter toiled diligently, breaking rocks from dawn till dusk. Though his work was hard and his earnings meager, he was content, taking pride in his craft. One hot day, while chipping away at a large stone, the stonecutter heard the clattering of horses' hooves and looked up to see a grand procession. It was the king, passing by with his retinue. The king sat on a splendid chariot, dressed in opulent robes, surrounded by servants who attended to his every whim. A pang of envy pierced the stonecutter's heart. How wonderful it must be to be a king, he thought, to have power and wealth, to be honored and revered. At that moment, he sighed and said aloud, "Oh, how I wish I were a king." To his astonishment, a voice echoed from the mountain, "Your wish is granted." And just like that, the stonecutter found himself transformed into a king. He was clothed in magnificent garments and seated on a golden throne. He was surrounded by loyal subjects who bowed to his every command. For a while, the stonecutter turned king was ecstatic. He enjoyed the luxury, the authority, and the reverence. But soon, he began to feel the heat of the sun as it blazed down upon him. He realized that even the king was powerless against the scorching sun. How powerful the sun must be, he mused. If only I could be the sun. And once again, the mysterious voice granted his wish. He became the sun, shining brilliantly in the sky, casting light and warmth over the earth. Now he felt supreme, able to exert his influence far and wide. But as the days passed, he noticed something that obstructed his rays, a vast, dark cloud. No matter how brightly he shone, the cloud covered the sky, dimming his light and casting shadows on the earth below. Ah, he thought, the cloud is mightier than the sun. I wish I were a cloud. Instantly, he was transformed into a great cloud, drifting across the sky. He reveled in his newfound power, blocking the sun and bringing rain to the fields below. Soon, however, he felt a strange force pushing against him. The wind blew fiercely, scattering him across the sky, rendering him helpless. The wind is stronger than the cloud, he realized. I want to be the wind. And so, he became the wind, howling through the mountains and valleys, bending trees and stirring the seas. But even as the wind, he encountered an immovable obstacle, the mighty mountain. No matter how hard he blew, the mountain stood firm, unyielding. Surely, he thought, the mountain is the most powerful of all. I wish I were the mountain. Instantly, he was transformed into a towering mountain, proud and strong. He felt invincible, withstanding the elements and enduring through time. But as he stood in his majestic form, he felt a sharp pain in his side. He looked down to see a simple stonecutter chipping away at his base. Despite his great strength, he could not resist the small blows of the stonecutter's hammer. It was then that the stonecutter realized his folly. He had longed for power and status, only to find himself returning to the simplicity of his original life. As he pondered this, the mysterious voice from the mountain spoke once more, "Your final wish is granted." In a flash, the stonecutter was himself again, back in his humble village, holding his familiar tools. He felt a profound sense of peace and gratitude. He had journeyed through the realms of kings, suns, clouds, winds, and mountains, only to find that true contentment lay in being himself, a simple stonecutter. From that day on, he embraced his work with renewed joy, understanding that simplicity, not grandeur, was the key to a fulfilled life. He no longer yearned for what he was not, but cherished the quiet beauty and satisfaction of his simple existence. The tale of the stonecutter is a powerful parable that teaches us about the futility of seeking external power and validation. It reminds us that true contentment is found not in becoming something we are not, but in appreciating and embracing our own unique path and simplicity. This ancient story resonates deeply with the Taoist principle of returning to one's original state of being, unadorned and in harmony with one's true nature. 2. Revival of original simplicity, Fanpu Guizhen. The concept of reviving original simplicity, Fanpu Guizhen, is another important principle in Taoism. It refers to the process of returning to one's innate state, untouched by societal norms and artificial structures. Original simplicity is the state of purity and innocence that we are all born with. It is a state of being in harmony with nature and with our true selves. When we are caught up in the busyness of everyday life, it is easy to lose touch with our original simplicity. We may become attached to material possessions, to our social status, or to our own ego. This can lead to a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. Reviving original simplicity involves letting go of all of our artificial attachments and returning to our true nature. This means living in sync with our genuine selves and with the surrounding world. It means living simply, in harmony with the natural flow of the Tao. Here is a famous folktale from the Brothers Grimm collection that beautifully illustrates the principle of revival of original simplicity. It serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the value of appreciating simplicity. The Tale of the Fisherman and His Wife. In a humble village by the sea, there lived a poor fisherman and his wife. Each day, the fisherman went out to the sea, casting his net in hopes of a good catch, while his wife stayed at home, discontent with their modest life. One calm morning, as the fisherman was casting his net, he caught an unusual fish, a large, shimmering flounder. To his astonishment, the fish spoke. "Please let me go," said the flounder. "I am an enchanted prince. Release me, and I will grant you any wish." The fisherman, being a kind and simple man, was content with his life and did not desire anything more. He released the fish back into the sea without asking for a reward. Returning home, he told his wife about the magical fish and his decision. His wife, however, was not as satisfied. "Husband," she said, "you should have asked for something. Go back and ask the fish for a cottage to replace this hovel." Reluctantly, the fisherman returned to the sea and called out to the fish. As the waters churned, the fish appeared. "My wife wishes for a cottage," the fisherman said. The fish granted his wish, and when the fisherman returned, their old shack was replaced by a quaint cottage with a lovely garden. For a while, the fisherman's wife was content, but soon her desires grew. "Husband," she demanded, "go back and ask the fish for a palace. This cottage is too small." Reluctantly, the fisherman went back to the sea and called the fish again. "My wife wishes for a palace," he said. The fish granted the wish, and their cottage transformed into a grand palace with marble floors and golden chandeliers. Though they now lived in opulence, the wife's ambition knew no bounds. "Husband," she said one morning, "I want to be queen. Go and tell the fish." The fisherman, distressed by his wife's increasing demands, went back to the sea. "My wife wishes to be queen," he told the fish. The sea grew darker and stormier, but the fish granted the wish. Their palace transformed into a royal castle, and the wife became queen, with servants and subjects to command. Even as queen, she was not satisfied. "Husband," she said, "I want to be emperor." The fisherman, now fearful and regretful, returned to the stormy sea. "My wife wishes to be emperor," he called out. The fish granted the wish once more, and she became the ruler of a vast empire. Days passed, and the wife's ambition grew even more audacious. "I want to be the ruler of the sun and moon," she declared. "Go back and tell the fish." The fisherman, trembling with fear, went to the sea again. "My wife wishes to be the ruler of the sun and moon," he said. The sea roared and heaved with fury. The fish appeared and spoke gravely. "Go home. Your wife will find her wish granted." When the fisherman returned home, he found their grand palace gone. In its place stood the same old hovel they had started with. His wife sat on the doorstep, clad in her old tattered clothes, staring in disbelief at their humble surroundings. In that moment of stark realization, the wife understood the folly of her unending greed. She had chased after power and wealth, only to lose everything in the end. It was then that she began to appreciate the simplicity they had once had, a simplicity she had taken for granted. From that day forward, the fisherman and his wife lived in their modest home, but with a newfound sense of contentment and gratitude. They returned to the simplicity of their original life, now understanding its true value. This story serves as a timeless reminder that chasing after more and more often leads to discontent, whereas finding joy and fulfillment in simplicity brings lasting peace. By reviving our original simplicity, we reconnect with our true selves and the essence of a harmonious and meaningful life.
3. Unity with the Tao, 与道合一.
Unity with the Tao is the ultimate goal of Taoist cultivation. It is a state of complete harmony and alignment with the natural order of the universe. When we achieve unity with the Tao, we transcend our individual egos and experience a sense of oneness with all things. We become aware of the interconnectedness of all life, and we understand our place within the grand scheme of things. This state of unity brings with it a profound sense of peace, tranquility, and insight. We are no longer swayed by our emotions or by the opinions of others. We are able to see the world with clarity and compassion, and we are able to respond to life's challenges with equanimity. To achieve unity with the Tao, we must let go of our attachments to the ego and to the external world. We must cultivate a sense of humility and openness, and we must be willing to learn from all of our experiences. Here is a classic story from Taoist literature that beautifully captures the principle of unity with the Tao, 与道合一. It explores the fluid boundaries between reality and illusion, self and other, and how embracing the Tao can lead to profound insight and harmony with the universe. The tale of Zhuangzi and the butterfly. In the ancient state of Song, there lived a wise sage named Zhuangzi, who was known for his deep understanding of the Tao. Zhuangzi often wandered the countryside, contemplating the nature of existence and the principles of the Tao, sharing his wisdom through parables and stories. One night, after a long day of reflection, Zhuangzi lay down under the open sky and fell into a deep sleep. As he slept, he dreamed a vivid dream that felt incredibly real. In this dream, he was not Zhuangzi the philosopher, but a carefree butterfly, fluttering joyfully among the flowers. The butterfly flitted from blossom to blossom, savoring the nectar and the warmth of the sun. It had no worries, no thoughts of the past or future, only the pure, spontaneous experience of the present moment. It was entirely at one with the world around it, floating on the breeze in perfect harmony with nature. For what seemed like an eternity, Zhuangzi experienced the life of the butterfly. He was completely immersed in this new existence, losing all sense of his human self. He felt a profound connection to the essence of the butterfly, living in accordance with the natural flow of the Tao. Suddenly, Zhuangzi awoke from his dream. As he lay there, the stars twinkling above him, he found himself deeply puzzled. The dream had been so real, so vivid, that he wondered. Was he Zhuangzi who had dreamt of being a butterfly, or was he a butterfly now dreaming of being Zhuangzi? This profound question lingered in his mind. What is the true nature of reality? He realized that the distinction between himself and the butterfly was illusory, a construct of his waking consciousness. In that moment of awakening, Zhuangzi understood the deep Taoist principle of unity, that all forms of life are interconnected and that the boundaries between them are fluid and permeable. The tale of Zhuangzi and the butterfly is a profound meditation on the nature of identity, reality, and unity with the Tao. Through his dream, Zhuangzi comes to understand that the distinctions we make between self and other, between different forms of life, are fluid and ultimately illusory. This realization brings him closer to the Tao, the underlying principle of harmony and interconnectedness in the universe. The story invites us to reflect on our own lives and consider how we can embrace the fluidity of identity, the illusory nature of reality, and the unity of all things. By doing so, we move closer to living in accordance with the Tao, finding peace and fulfillment in the harmony of existence. Now, relationship and differences between the three concepts. The three concepts of reversion to emptiness, revival of original simplicity, and unity with the Tao are all related, but they also have different emphases. Reversion to emptiness is the foundation for the other two concepts. It is the process of letting go of our attachments to the external world and to our own ego. This process of emptying ourselves creates space for the Tao to enter our lives. Revival of original simplicity is the process of returning to our true nature, which is simple, pure, and in harmony with the Tao. This process involves letting go of our artificial desires and attachments and living in accordance with the natural flow of life. Unity with the Tao is the ultimate goal of Taoist cultivation. It is a state of complete harmony and alignment with the natural order of the universe. When we achieve unity with the Tao, we transcend our individual egos and experience a sense of oneness with all things. One-sentence summary of each concept in a way that is easy to understand and remember. Reversion to emptiness. Letting go of attachments to the external world and to the ego. Revival of original simplicity. Returning to our true nature, which is simple, pure, and in harmony with the Tao. Unity with the Tao. Achieving complete harmony and alignment with the natural order of the universe. In general, we can say that reversion to emptiness is the foundation for revival of original simplicity, and revival of original simplicity is the foundation for unity with the Tao. However, it is important to note that these three concepts are not linear steps. They are all interconnected and interdependent. Reversion to emptiness is an internal process of letting go of attachments. Revival of original simplicity is an external process of living in harmony with nature. Unity with the Tao is both an internal and external process of complete alignment with the natural order of the universe. We can also say that reversion to emptiness is more of an internal process, while revival of original simplicity is more of an external process. Unity with the Tao, on the other hand, is both an internal and external process. Ultimately, the goal of all three concepts is to help us live in harmony with the Tao and to experience a greater sense of peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Conclusion. The quintessence of Taoist cultivation resides in the principles of returning to emptiness, reviving original simplicity, and achieving unity with the Tao. Ensuing practices such as Zhuowang, meditation, Qigong, Tai Chi, simple living, detachment, nature observation, and ethical conduct provide a transformative pathway towards inner peace, wisdom, and congruence with the universe. By embracing these methods, one can truly align with the profound and timeless wisdom of the Tao, experiencing the power of emptiness and the fullness of life. This is the heart, the essence of Taoist cultivation. Quotes for today. 1. Empty yourself of everything. Let the mind rest at peace. This is the way of nature. Laozi. 2. From emptiness, everything springs forth. Emptiness is the origin of all existence. Laozi. 3. Being deeply aware of the emptiness of all things is the secret to understanding the Tao. Embrace simplicity. Laozi. 4. In the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Laozi. 5. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. He who clings to his work will create nothing that endures. When we no longer cling, we no longer lose. Laozi. 6. Just remain in the center, watching, and then forget that you are there. Laozi. 7. The truth is not always beautiful, nor beautiful words the truth. Laozi. 8. Become totally empty. Let your heart be at peace. Laozi. I hope these quotes inspire you as you embark on your Taoist cultivation. Thank you for watching. If you have any question or suggestion, leave a message below.